Have these been the best NBA playoffs ever? We'll break it down. Alright, James, it's season 4, episode 8.
Woo.
We're getting kind of close to the end of the season here.
It's kind of like, I feel like this season has actually like flown by more than like all the other seasons.
Yeah, it has.
Like
it has,
just
sure.
through the first 8 episodes, I feel like we've gotten through it quick, and we had a week off, which is
We
like,
did.
I don't know. We've been doing this for 9 weeks since season started, which
Yeah.
is pretty crazy.
And we got like 4 episodes left, maybe.
Yeah, that's
maybe this
wild.
one and then 4 more, because
Yeah.
once the NBA playoffs end, we're done.
Yeah.
So,
And then we'll be back in football season.
and then end of August we'll be back, and that's gonna be the long haul.
Yeah, that's the
These
long
are just
season.
like the fun, like easy seasons, and those football seasons are the long haul.
There's
Okay.
a lot to cover, a lot of sports going on.
Anyway, let's start off with what we forgot to do last week.
Oh yeah.
NBA futures draft update. So in last Harrison, he picked the Knicks first, which happened to be a really good pick.
He said they were winning the finals. Just saying.
They might, they
yeah,
might.
he actually said that.
But then he had Warriors, Grizzlies, Pistons, Clippers, and he only had 2 teams in the second round, and 1 team in the conference finals. Talk about not a lot of teams in the conference finals.
Yeah.
That's James.
Yeah.
So Harrison's got 30. James has 31.
I'm battling for second place right now.
James has the Celtics and the Cavs, who were both got knocked out in the second round, and then Lakers won 1 playoff game, Rockets won 3, and then he has teams that didn't make it. And then your boy has 46.
Cool. Killing.
Thunder and Nuggets, one of them's going to the conference finals. Pacers and Timberwolves, both in the conference finals, and then Bucks, Magic, Bulls, Kings. Anyway,
And even like your down ones here, like Bucks and Magic getting 3 points is like really good.
yeah, that's
like,
not bad. And the Bucks are going to get more because they're going to get All NBA.
Yep.
So yeah, good stuff.
That's kind of what I'm harping on to get second place. I got a lot of people who will most likely make All NBA, All Defense.
Yeah, you'll get second because of that, unless the Knicks like win it all. But you still might beat them because
Yeah, it'll be close.
you're winning by 1. So if they get 8 more, he gets 8 more
It'll be
plus
clo-
like an All
It'll be
NBA.
close. Yeah, it'd be really close actually.
But you should get second.
But he'll get All NBA too.
Yeah, he'll get a couple All NBA, but you'll get like more. You'll get the
Probably.
Donovan Mitchell will have All NBA.
I mean,
Tatum will be on
I'll get
first
Tatum,
team.
Brown.
Brown will be on
maybe.
second team.
He might be on third. I don't know. That'll be a close one.
Jalen
Feel
Brown.
like it.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Anyway, first segment, 30-second sprint. We reached deep into our bag of tricks for this segment.
We did this one like
A long time ago.
yeah,
Last
it was
season.
a while ago.
It was like earlier last season, and we had a lot of fun. I don't
Yeah,
know
it
why
was
we
fun.
haven't brought it back yet.
Yeah.
But here we are. So we're each going to do 2 rounds. I'm going to pull up the...
Do I need a paper to write yours down,
I mean,
or can I write down in your notebook?
you can write down mine if you
Just on the
want,
back?
or you can just use the back of this or something.
Okay.
Use the back of the agenda.
All right.
I'm just like tallying. I have one like list because one of them's like a list of the people that count, and one of them's like a. Just
Both of my
tallying.
categories, there's so many that you can name.
Yeah,
It's
one
like-
of mine is like that. One of mine is limited. So
Okay, so who wants to go first?
I'll give you mine first. I'm excited for this one.
So I have 30 seconds to guess yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the one it's got 28 players in the category.
Okay.
And it's gonna test your ball knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna get all of them. You're not gonna get close. But I want to see how many you can get.
Okay.
So, don't look over here because I'm putting this down like
Okay.
this. MLB players all time with 500 or more home runs. Ready, set, go.
Albert Pujols. My Barry Bonds. Hold on. Let me cook.
20 seconds.
Let me cook. Hold on. McGuire.
Okay.
Sosa.
Okay.
Judge. Probably not. Hold on.
10 seconds.
Rizzo? No. Hold on. I'm trying to think of like old players.
4, 3,
Goldschmidt.
2, 1. No.
Arenado.
No.
Frick.
That's all right. Let's see what you
That's
see what you missed.
That's the 4 best home run hitters of all time.
You've got 4. You got 4. Barry Bonds.
Boom.
Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire.
I'm him.
You missed Hank Aaron.
Oh yeah.
Babe Ruth.
God dang it! I just remembered.
Alex Rodriguez.
I should have got that.
Willie Mays, King Griffey Jr., Jim
Oh.
Thome, Frank Robinson, Harmon Killebrew, Rafael Palmeiro, Reggie Jackson, Manny Ramirez, Mike Schmidt, David Ortiz, Mickey Mantle, Jamie Foxx, Willie McCovey,
Jamie Foxx.
Jimmy Fox, Frank Thomas, Ted Williams, Ernie Banks, Eddie Matthews, Miguel Cabrera, Mel Ott, Gary Sheffield
maybe.
and Eddie Murray. Oh, the ones you missed. So a lot of them you could have gotten, but you weren't gonna get all.
I almost said what did I almost say? I almost said Jeter. But
Jeter was not. He's not hit a lot of
Yeah, I
home
know.
runs in his heyday. All right.
All right. Well, mine's on my computer, so don't look over here. But
Yeah, you can use the pencil in the back of the agenda.
okay. Mine is players who have played for the Dodgers but are not currently on the Dodgers and they must still be in the league. Go.
Oh my God. Okay. I have no idea. They must still be in the league.
Yep.
Manny Machado.
Yep.
Sheesh.
No, Manny Machado's not one.
Manny Machado definitely played for the Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cooked. This is such a bad,
Dang. You know who he's
such a bad ball knowledge outing by me here. I was gonna say Chase Utley, but he's not in the league.
3,
All right, I'm out.
2, 1. So we got one, and I don't think Manny Machado played for
You
the
wanna bet?
Can we look it up? Yeah. I don't,
Yeah, look it up.
When did he play for the
He started
Dodgers?
his career on the Dodgers.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's actually kind of cool.
Okay,
so you got one.
Yeah, I should. Oh, no, I should have gone back to the World Series team.
That's
Corey Seager.
You go to 2020. It's like there's so many guys.
Corey Seager. I mean,
There's Trey Turner.
Trey Turner played.
There's here. Look, I'll give you some. So there's Trey Turner, J.D. Martinez, Cody Bellinger, Walker Buehler,
Bellinger,
Justin Turner, Corey Seager, Jock Peterson. That's kind of some.
That's okay. That was a good question. I kind of sold myself on that.
And then Manny Machado.
Yeah, he got picked by the Orioles. No, he started on the Dodgers.
Gotcha.
I mean, look, this is a Manny Machado biography here on
Okay, so
ESPN.
Bro got one.
Yeah, he played one season on the Dodgers. I think it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
he played between the Orioles and the Padres. He played on the Dodgers
Interesting. Okay.
for one season. All right, I knew he'd play on the Dodgers at some point. Game
All right.
one. I mean, I'm not.
One. That's dude. I thought you were gonna do really well in that one. Actually.
I did not. I could have.
I thought you were gonna do the thing where you like work back to World Series.
Yeah, I
teams,
should've done
which is
that.
what I was like thinking about.
Okay. Yeah, my mind was just like blank that entire time. Okay, your next one. You should get a lot of these. This is just gonna be like, how many can you get? Current NFL tight ends. Ready, set, go.
Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Juwan Johnson. Hold on. Hawkinson, Kittle, Laporta.
15 seconds.
Goddard. Noah Fant. Why did I just say Noah Fant? Trey McBride.
5,
Johnny Smith.
3.
Time.
Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland,
Okay.
Roy Bowers.
All the rook. Oh,
I would have gotten more than that, but what'd you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I should have thought more like I should have gone division wise. That would have probably been better if I.
Every team has a tight end.
If I would have been like rattled them off for all the teams like Kyle Pitts, Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
Like if I would have done the NFC South, AFC South, that would have been smarter. But I was just trying to think of good ones.
All right, here you go.
Might have that pencil.
Yes, I will actually.
Okay.
Am I cooked?
So, name any American golfers. Go.
Crap. Okay, Xander Schauffele.
Boom.
Tiger Woods.
Boom.
Jack Nicklaus. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Phil Mickelson.
Yep.
Scotty Scheffler.
Yep.
Justin Thomas.
Yep.
Who's the Dustin Johnson?
Yep.
He's
He's looking in his bag. 7 seconds.
the guy that went to LSU.
Yep.
Sam. What is it? Sam?
Sam.
I'm counting that.
Okay, I'll count that. Sam Burns.
Sam Burns. Okay. So that's 8. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. So some guys you missed. Colin Morikawa.
Morikawa. Okay.
Bryson DeChambeau.
I wouldn't have pinned Morikawa's American, but yeah.
Patrick Cantley. Russell Henley.
Okay. Who was the second one you just said?
Russell Henley.
Russell Henley's never heard of him.
He's a dog.
Okay.
He's the guy doing the Ryder Cup team and shit. Like he's the captain.
Okay.
Like who picks all the guys. All right. Well, that was pretty good. I think I low-key like. I think we both.
We both underperformed. I feel
Yeah, honestly, we can do better.
I did good on the golfer one. That's about as
Yeah,
good as
I was actually impressed.
That's a
But-
really good question.
Yeah. All right. Let's go into the next segment. Cue the music.
Derek Carr has retired from football. I think he's taking the faked injury too far, guys. The NFL schedule is out, so go check it out. You can't check out the Colts video anymore. That got taken down. The Rockies fire manager Bud Black, and he isn't the only problem, let me tell you. Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. He's probably out all of next season. The NBA draft lottery is rigged. The Mavs are letting Cooper Flag with a 1.8% chance to do so. Followed by the Spurs, who are the 8th worst team. Sixers, who were 5th. Hornets, who were 3rd, so that's fair. The Jazz were the worst team, and they fell to 5. They fell to 5. Wizards fall to 6th as the 2nd worst team. Pelicans fall to 7 as the 4th worst team. Nets fall to 8 as the 6th worst team. Raptors fall to 9 as the 7th worst team. What are we doing, guys? And the Rockets are in the top 10. Aaron Gordon's status is doubtful for Game 7 after injuring his hamstring. And Brock Purdy and the 49ers agreed to a 5-year, $265 million extension. James, who's winning the NBA title?
Wow. Out of the teams left, you know, I want to say whoever comes out of this Nuggets OKC series, but you know what? I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
That's not going to happen. That's
They
like
get
the
out
last
the
one I would
West,
say.
They go win. They have a better chance than the Pacers, I think, right now, if I had to pick. I love the Pacers, but I'm going to go Minnesota Timberwolves. I just think that sitting actually is going to help them with the other team going to a Game 7. It's going to help them scheme. I think they're going to do really, really well in the West Finals. They've been there before. That's a big deal. And I just think their defensive ability, and if they don't turn the ball over, I think they got a shot. But I think they can get there for sure. Just depends if they're going to win it.
I would say the Knicks right now. Anyway, the Spurs are trading for Giannis, by the way. That's just going to happen.
Yeah, so the draft lottery thing, you think this like disincentivizes teams from tanking?
Well, that's what the whole point of the draft lottery.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I
but
think it's like...
I think it needs to be... I think the odds... It's too easy for these teams to... If it's not rigged, which I think it might be rigged.
I think there's a little bit of rigging and a little bit of not rigging. So, like, I think, like, for an example, let's say I think the Mavs jumped up in the top 4, but let's say they were at 4, and the NBA said, so the Mavs got rid of Luka Doncic, what would be a really good storyline, let's put Cooper Flag on Dallas. So they jumped to, like, 3 or 4, but the NBA just moves them to 1 and stuff like that. Like, you know, I don't think it's, like, incomplete, like, Dallas got the last thing, and the NBA says, no, we're pushing them up to 1. There's definitely ping pong balls, and there's definitely stuff like that. Like, the ping pong balls is a real thing. Like, it's been documented.
Well, yeah,
it does happen.
There's reporters in the room.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it does happen. So, what happens when the NBA gets the envelopes, that's for us to decide. But
I don't know. It's just like, man, I mean...
Maybe it was just unluck. I don't know. For you.
That's crazy. Well, no, and then, like, last year it happened, and the Pelicans got Zion with the low odds. And the Cavs got LeBron with pretty low odds.
That draft was probably rigged.
And
like, think about it,
David Robinson to the Spurs.
Derrick Rose to the Bulls. Grew up in Chicago. Like, there's a bunch of stuff.
Like, there's not. It's rigged to an extent, I think.
I agree. I don't think it's totally rigged, and it's very hard for them to rig it. Like, it's difficult to rig it entirely. So I think there's little things that they do.
I think they need to bump the odds up. If it's not rigged, which it might not be, thinking about the odds, like for the Jazz, Wizards, or Hornets, or to get the first overall pick, it's 42%.
Yeah.
And that needs to be higher. I think it needs to be above. And then if you add the Pelicans, that's 54.5%.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be a little higher than that. And
I mean, dude, the Jazz played like Uber drivers for 60 games, and they get the 5th pick.
If you make the play-in, you should have a less than 1% chance easily to get the first pick. You shouldn't even like be in the lottery if you make the play-in.
Yeah, and Nico Harrison does not deserve this, by the way, like whatsoever.
No, he's a loser.
Like, you do not deserve to get the first overall pick.
Even if they said like we'll give you, if you trade Luka to a big market, we'll give you Cooper. Like you still shouldn't
have done it. Like, I'm not even joking.
But there also like a crazy conspiracy possibility would be like they said we're trading Luka. Do you want to trade Luka to LA? We need Luka to be on LA. We're giving you Cooper Flag, and he was like, I don't want to do that. And they're like, well, it's happening. So here,
Or
like. Stuff like that. Like I doubt that happened.
Also,
but still.
I think Nico Harrison a lot is taking the fall for other guys. Like, the owners were involved with the trade.
The owners
It wasn't
got the call.
just Nico Harrison, right? He made the final call, but the owners were involved.
I think,
it wasn't just him in the room.
He got permission from the owners.
Exactly. Like, Nico
Not
Harrison.
Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is not approved, by the way.
No, he doesn't have a majority anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't. But no, Mark Cuban is not approved. Okay. All right. Second round recap.
Let's do it.
We got 3 series done, so this ended up working out well. First game started Monday for the conference finals, so let's get into it.
Game 7 on Sunday.
Starting in the East, Pacers 4, Cavs 1. This is insane. I'll start with the Cavs. I'll say the injury bug just got them, right? This is a really good team. They were one of the best teams of all time, record-wise, this year. And they got the injury bug in this series. Donovan Mitchell was out. Wasn't he out for a game?
Mm-hmm.
Garland and Mobley were each out for a game or two.
Garland was out for 3.
Garland was out for 3
Not
games?
in this series.
Yeah,
Last series.
So, like, this is just an unfortunate series for the Cavs. They should have played better. They should have won either way. They have the better team. But I think it's no cause for panic if you're a Cavs fan. I think they can still run it back next year. Maybe make a tweak or two, but maybe trade Jared Allen. I think that would be the main thing. I think the Pelicans would probably offer TJ. But, whatever. That's all I got for the Cavs.
Yeah, I said, like, it kind of goes on that line, is that they bet on role players showing up, and it didn't work. Ty Jerome was a 6th Man of the Year finalist, and I'm going to be honest, he sucked in this entire playoffs. And that's nothing against him, but he has to step up. He didn't. Max Strus talked way too much smack and didn't back it up. And then you have other guys like Isaac Okoro and Dean Wade that didn't get consistent minutes. It felt like the bench rotation was a little weird in the playoffs, that Kenny Atkinson didn't really know who to go to when they didn't get scoring off the bench. And that's kind of a problem, right? Because when a guy goes down like Donovan Mitchell or a guy goes down like Darius Garland, you have to get bench production. And that guy was going to be Ty Jerome, Max Strus, and it didn't work. And that's kind of what it is. They bet, and it kind of fell flat in their face. And the second thing is, for me, is why did Donovan Mitchell come here? What was the reason?
To win.
The reason was to win. They were the best regular season team in the East this year. Incredible. Winning. They lost to the 4 seed. That's not winning. The Cavs have not provided him, in my opinion, with the best chance to win a championship. They're stuck in this, in my opinion, a rebuild and kind of contending. So, like, you're the 1st seed. You got down to a 4 seed. You're still trying to develop Evan Mobley.
Yes,
right?
you are.
And then you also have Donovan Mitchell, he's only like 29, I think. But, like, he's in the prime of his career. He's trying to win now. But you're developing Evan Mobley. You're developing some young guys off the bench. And you're stuck in kind of this in-between between.
That need to get rid of either Allen or Garland.
Exactly. There has to be a piece moved where it's like, are we contending or are we rebuilding? And Donovan Mitchell just our guy on the rebuild. And that's kind of what I think is going to be an interesting offseason for them, is because they're going to have to figure out what that line is and how they can contend in the future.
Who's the one that sent that text before?
It's in the text.
There was like the text to the group chat that was like, if you don't
Max
believe,
Strus, and they shot over now.
Okay, well, stop clowning this guy. All right, that's a great display of leadership on the team. That's a great message.
I agree.
He can control that he went over. He can control that he went over 9, but like he
had a bad shooting.
People have bad shooting nights. Like, it happens. Like, you can't say, oh, he sucks, and he's like, stop clowning him for saying that. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, no, I'm talking about people in general. Like, people are clowning him, and
no, he was like
not fair.
The problem was, it was like everybody off the bench didn't provide, and that's the thing. Like, one guy has to do something. They didn't get good bench production, which sucks for them.
All right, Pacers.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, stop messing with postseason Tyrese Halliburton. Stop doubting postseason Tyrese Halliburton. This guy is elite. He has shown year after year that he rises in the playoffs. If you told me last January, hey, look, the Pacers are going to be in the next 2 conference finals, along with the Timberwolves, what would we have said? But no, Tyrese Halliburton, along with Anthony Edwards, who we'll talk about later, have just been amazing in the playoffs throughout their entire career. Tyrese Halliburton doesn't need the ball to be, or no, he does need the ball, but he doesn't need to score to be the main guy on the court. He leaves his fingerprints on every single play, whether he is shooting a 3 or whether he scores 12 points and has 12 assists. It doesn't matter. He is going to have his fingerprints around every play, and he's going to lead his team even if it's not by score.
Yeah, I have 2 words for you, and that's overrate that. This guy is not overrated. This guy is one of the best players in this year's postseason. He's showing why he is the number 1 on the Pacers. He's showing why he can be a number 1 guy on a championship team. And he's showing why he's one of the best point guards in the league. This guy does things that other people in the league cannot. He sees passing lanes. He gets his hands in passing lanes. He really is incredible with his footwork and his eyesight. And he's playing really, really well with this calm, cool confidence to him, which is really, really fun to see. Because it feels like at times in Tyrese Halliburton's career, he would kick down on himself. And then he'd get back up, and then he'd go back down. Right now, it feels like he's at this steady pace going upward, and the Pacers are doing the exact same thing. So I'm excited.
The overrated thing, like, look, last year we were saying the same thing about Tyrese Halliburton as we are this year, and at this time. And last year in the regular season, he wasn't the best player out there. He was really good, but he wasn't like as good as he was in the playoffs. And in this regular season, he was really underwhelming. This regular season,
yeah.
And so people were saying like. So maybe people kind of forget what he did in the playoffs last year and what he can do. So they're like, oh, this guy's overrated. Why does everyone think he's so good? And now you're seeing why. Because he can lift it up in the playoffs, and he has the ability to do this. He just had a rough season. And also, for the Pacers, now Boston's out. Now the Pacers have a real shot at making the NBA Finals. We didn't say that last year when they were going against the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Indiana Pacers can very realistically make the NBA Finals to Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner. No one thought that was possible.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going up against the Knicks, who's going to be a really big, tough battle for them, but they can absolutely win. They can beat anybody. That's what I've come to feel like the last couple of years about the Pacers and about the Timberwolves. They can beat anybody. Stop doubting them because whoever they go against, they can win.
Yeah, and that's kind of like my second point was the roster construction and what Kevin Pritchard, the GM, has done. He has built this team so quietly and on the down low, compared to guys who went out and got big names, like Suns Kevin Durant. You can say Dallas Kyrie Irving. You can say LA with Luka. All of this. What he did is he built through the draft. He got glue guys off the bench, and he built around Tyrese Halliburton as best as you can. And then when
traded for Tyrese Halliburton too.
Exactly. And then when all of it started piecing together, he went and added the big splash in Pascal Siakam, and everything clicked. And this team was the 4th seed in the regular season in a very top-heavy Eastern Conference, which is very impressive to be a top 4 seed in the East because it's very top-heavy. So they were very efficient in the regular season, and a lot of people just weren't watching them. And that's what Indiana basketball is, right?
When your best player's averaging 18 points, it's tough to watch.
Exactly, right? So,
All right. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. The Knicks 4, Celtics 2. I'm glad we got to this one after it ended because now I can talk I really want to talk about the Knicks. So, this is what I've taken. I said it last time we did this a couple weeks ago. You can't outdog the Knicks. It doesn't happen. These guys are just dogs from the start to the finish of every game. They make you work for it, and they get you in a dogfight every time they step on the court. And the Celtics, like I said last week, might not be able to handle that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they showed. They were so busy, we're so used to going out there, getting down, shooting 1,000 threes, and winning. And now the Knicks are like, no, you gotta beat me inside the 3-point arc, and you have to outdog me. And they couldn't, and nobody can. If anyone can, it's the Pacers. But we're gonna talk about that later. It's crazy, man. The Knicks, no one expected this from the Knicks in this series. I knew if they brought the Celtics into these dogfights late in the games, they could win. But it was can they? Because they had it all season, and they were able to do it, keep it close the whole game, and then strike at the end. And they've been so good late in games with Jalen Brunson, Clutch Player of the Year. Mikal Bridges has just played elite defense down the stretch. They have OG Anunoby, who I haven't really heard much about, but I'm sure he's playing really good defense. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Karl-Anthony Towns stepped up in this series. This was a really good series for the Knicks. And right now they're my pick to win it all. Right.
Nice.
I'm gonna stop not picking against them until they lose. At this point, I think they're gonna win it all. Coming out of the West, you see Thunder, you see Nuggets. I don't think either of them can beat the Knicks. It's the same thing that I said with the Celtics.
Yeah.
I don't think the Nuggets can, but I don't think the Thunder can.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the matchups are. Thing that I said is the role players really did impress me, which you kind of touched on for a second. Mikal Bridges.
These aren't role players. These are stars, number 2 options on
this team. They're role players. So Mikal Bridges would be a number 2 option on most other teams, and what he did when Cat and Brunson were on the bench was incredible. The offense he provided was amazing. When his shot was hitting, he'd go on his own 8-0 runs in this series. That's amazing. Josh Hart and OG Anunoby created...
Josh Hart is a dog. He's the lead dog that dogs
so many extra possessions. So many offensive rebounds. Steals in the backcourt. Everything that Josh Hart and OG did in this series was great. OG's shot was a little shaky, but he finally clicked in Game 6. Game 6, he led the team in scoring. He had 23 or something. Really, really good game. And then I think the one thing for me is Karl-Anthony Towns was the leading scorer in the regular season. He averaged 26 or something points a game. Very, very good.
He's been underwhelming.
In this series, he was just kind of right? I need him to show me why he's the leading scorer on this team. And he did it in Game 6. Game 6, he was so aggressive. He wasn't just shooting threes from logo. That's what he was kind of doing in the first 5 games, which was sometimes he'd drive, but this game, I think he had 4 and 1s in the second quarter. I swear, he was going to the basket every single time. He was attacking smaller defenders. He's got to be more aggressive if the Knicks are going to win a chip.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He was so bad in the first round, he was in the second round, and they still won with relative ease. this is what's so dangerous about this team. If Karl Anthony Towns can step out, nobody's beating them.
Also,
with Jalen Brunson playing his best,
yeah.
Mikal Bridges playing his best, Cat playing his best, nobody's beating the Knicks.
Also, it's impressive that they jumped back. Like, after losing Game 5 by a good amount, like, the Celtics kind of dominated them without JT. And then...
Yeah, there was definitely blood in the water.
And then Game 6, they just... I mean, it was
Dogged
really
them,
impressive. Like,
they needed to win. They had to win Game 6. It was probably over.
They were going to lose a series.
That would have been weird. Having Pacers versus Tatumless Celtics would have been a really weird Eastern Conference Finals.
Good. Probably
like it would be. I'd rather see the Knicks, but like you're now you're thinking about it like the finals is either going to consist of the Pacers or the Tatumless Celtics. That's not anybody's bingo card. But anyway, for the Celtics, I said like this is just their nightmare series. I mean, they got dogged early and went down, and then Tatum goes out, and you're like, yeah, this series is probably over. With Tatum out probably all of next year, which sucks for them. Then now they have to go in their little mini rebuild, probably because they're gonna be above the second apron if they do nothing. And without Jason Tatum, there's no reason to be above the second apron. So that's its own thing. But I mean, they just couldn't. It felt like they were shooting threes very well this series, and they lost their best player. And the Knicks were just playing their best basketball, and they had a chance to win it. If they had won Game 6, they probably would have won it. But it was never their series.
Yeah, first note I have is Kristaps Porzingis sucks. I don't know what's happening with him, but, like, this series was, he didn't hustle, he shot up stupid threes, he took bad shots, he didn't play good defense. He was basically unplayable in Game 4 for Joe Mazzulla. Like, he benched him. Like, this whole series, Porzingis' minutes were so sporadic. Like, he's probably the guy, in my opinion, that will end up getting moved in the offseason.
Too?
Maybe. Like,
they don't need him. Like he's good.
Well,
he's good, but they don't need him. Like he's getting paid a lot of money.
They could just throw Pritchard in the starting line.
He's getting paid a lot of money for the 6th man of the year to be 6th man. Like he can be the starter. Derek White does pretty much the same thing Drew Holiday does, but better.
Yeah.
Like you don't need him. He can be a 20. How much? Is he get 20, 30 million?
It's a little less than 30, I think.
Yeah. So like, that's a lot of money off your books to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Same thing with Porzingis. They need another center though. So I would be less quick to get rid of Porzingis unless you know you have another center coming in.
Sure.
But I mean, yeah.
Man, go get Robert Williams back. Bring back some 2022 vibes.
Pelicans will give you like CJ for Kristaps.
All right, bro. And then I said like the elephant in the room is obviously the Tatum injury. Like we don't really know what the Celtics are gonna do because it's such an injury where it's like there's only been 2 stars who have ever really come back, like stars of the league that have come back stronger from an Achilles injury, and it was Kobe and Kevin Durant. So I don't know if Jason Tatum has that dog to come back and be better.
In this era of medicine, he'll come back at least the same.
But that's what I'm saying. So, like, Kobe came back the next season, which is, like, we've never seen before. Kevin Durant came back a year later. But, like, I don't know what it's going to take for JT to just... It's going to be his mindset in like, recovery because...
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing in recovering is he has all the medicines available to him, but the mindset of getting through it is going to be the hardest thing. Prayers up, JT.
He can. I think with this, like you said, like in this era of medicine that we have, he can be back for the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
Will he? I don't know. That depends on, like you said, his mindset with the recovery, and also where are the Celtics in the middle of next season.
That's a good point.
If they're not contenders, they're probably gonna make the playoffs either way. That the Celtics
don't make playoffs.
But if they're like the 4 seed or worse,
yeah,
no reason to bring Jason Tatum back.
That's a good point.
So that's something to think about.
Brad Stevens will work his magic.
If they're the 2 seed,
they won't. Well, depending on who they get.
If they're
what makes them
but like if they're the 2 seed in early April and they say, yeah, let's get Jason Tatum back now.
Yeah.
They can do that.
Yeah.
But if they're like the 5, then they're gonna say, no, let's keep him on the bench and trash the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kobe tore his Achilles in April and then came back in December of that year.
Crazy.
Which is bro.
What?
Yeah, it was something insane.
He was definitely playing at a torn Achilles in December.
Probably, yeah, probably. But
okay,
so cool.
Let's get to the West now.
Let's do it.
Timberwolves 4, Warriors 1. I mean, I'll say the same thing I said about Tyrese Halliburton. Ant-Man is a different breed. He can do everything well. He's just like Tyrese Halliburton, how he elevates his game in the playoffs so well. I'll say it again. Last January, if you would have told me Timberwolves and Pacers, both in the next 2 conference finals.
Yeah.
It's crazy. and this whole Timberwolves team rises in the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see Julius Randle this year coming in and being like, I don't know, has he been good or?
Yeah, he's been in the playoffs.
He's been what he's needed. He's been what they needed him to be. Rudy Gobert plays defense. Jaden McDaniels plays defense. Like they got a really good supporting cast around Ant. They built this team around him, and I think it looks really good with the defenders that they have, and then Julius Randle's abilities. I'm gonna stop doubting them, right? I'm not gonna pick them against whoever they play in the conference finals. Not a chance. But am I gonna doubt them? Am I gonna say the Timberwolves have no chance? Absolutely not. Nobody should ever say that. Basically what I just said. My next thing is their biggest test is coming up, whether it's the Thunder or the Nuggets. But nobody is gonna count them out. Nobody should. People will, but nobody should because this is Anthony Edwards. This is the rest of this team is just so good in the playoffs. Nobody should be able to count them out. This team could be in the finals. We could see the Pacers, Timberwolves finals like realistically. It wasn't realistic last year.
Yeah.
But this year it's like actually realistic.
I want Timberwolves next. We were kind of talking about that earlier. Like that's the storyline I want. That kind of.
I think my ideal finals would be Nuggets next.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be a really good series. I think and that kind of brings me to my next point, which is like the Cat Randall trade was so frowned upon. From
now
the
they're both in the conference finals.
From the Timberwolves' perspective, the Knicks were supposed to be this so much better team.
They are.
They're in the same spot. You know what I mean? So, like, they both won the trade, is what I'm saying. So, like, Timberwolves got off less money. They added more depth with DiVincenzo and getting in Randall and stuff like that. So, this trade that everyone looked at back in, when was this? This trade happened, right
before the season. So, October, November.
Yeah. So, when people looked at it then, it was like, I don't know if the Timberwolves can go back to the conference finals like this. And Randall,
you said it.
I said it. Yeah. I didn't know if they were even going to be a top 6 seed. Like, and that's kind of what in the West they just dogged their way through the West. They beat LeBron. They beat Steph. Well, kind of.
No, they didn't.
They beat Jimmy Butler. And now they're in the conference finals, which is really really cool. And then the one thing for me is going forward for the Timberwolves, they got to stop turning the ball over as much. In that Warriors game when they were closing them out in Game 5. They turned the ball over way too much, and that's why the Warriors were able to stick in it in the first half. So I think just not turning the ball over is going to be a big, big thing, especially if you go up against OKC. If they go up against OKC and they turn the ball over as much as they did in that Game 5, they will get swept. And all I'm saying is OKC is the best turnover-to-point ratio in the entire NBA, one of the greatest of all time. If you turn the ball over, OKC will make you pay. If it's the Nuggets, it'll be a little different scheme. But don't turn the ball over as much, and the Timberwolves can make the finals.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was saying about that trade at the time. I either said what you said, or I said maybe.
No,
like,
I said it was going to be.
I
didn't like it.
I'm not sure what my thoughts were on that at the time, but I know, looking back on it, it was silly to say that because think of the fit. Like Karl-Anthony Towns did not fit in the Timberwolves system, and they with Rudy Gobert, they needed to pick one, and they made the right decision. By the way, with Rudy Gobert, they needed the defensive center with Anthony Edwards. They made the right decision, and so great job by the Timberwolves to notice that they couldn't have both of them. And to get prime value out of Karl-Anthony Towns, getting Julius Randle, who's a great fit in that system, who can score next to a guy like Rudy Gobert, who's just defensively their guy, and getting DiVincenzo, who like the sharpshooter to put next to Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards when they need it. Like it's perfect and perfect for both sides. The Knicks got exactly what they needed because they had too much depth. Kind of, they needed that star and they got it. And so this was perfect for both teams. Just great by both.
Yeah, I like it. I think it was. Yeah, like when I made a video on it on my channel, and when I made that video,
was that like 4 videos ago?
Yeah, probably. But like when I made that video, I think I gave the Timberwolves like a C- or something, and I gave the Knicks like an A+. Like I loved the fit in New York.
That was the consensus.
And that's the thing, yeah, and that's what it was. And I thought the Timberwolves, I really did not think this trade was going to work out, and it did. And props up to, I mean, I don't know.
What a win-win trade.
A-Rod, I can't think of anyone else in the front office.
What a win-win trade, man.
Yeah.
To the Warriors now, I mean, what could have been in this series, man?
Yeah, man.
This series could have been so good. And that's what we were saying coming in. This is going to be a great series because Steph, Anthony Edwards, this is going to be great. And Curry got hurt. And it sucks for the Warriors because they had a chance to make the conference finals with a team and an old Steph Curry we thought would never be there again. And the injury just killed him. Like Jimmy Butler was not himself in these playoffs, period. If he could have been himself when Curry went down, they could have had a chance to get Curry back. But it just wasn't. It just didn't happen. Butler was not the same guy he was on the Heat when they made the finals. He was they don't have a supporting cast anymore because they traded everyone for Jimmy Butler pretty much, other than their young guys who aren't developed yet. And so it was just a rough watch because, I mean, without Curry, they were just kind of helpless.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of said. It's incredible what one player does to a team, right? And a scheme and stuff like that. Like, how does this series be different if Curry's in it? Like, do they end up winning? I don't think so. I probably would have still picked the Timberwolves. But, like,
yeah.
Do they end up going to the finals again? Like, what one player does to a team is so incredible. Like the Knicks. They don't have Jalen Brunson. They're not sniffing the conference finals.
Just think about the
Pacers.
Timberwolves and the Pacers.
That's what I'm saying. Like what one player, what your one star will do for you and how it can change the entire franchise forever is amazing. Like, Curry brought 4 championships to Golden State.
Yeah.
Just being himself. And that's what's really, really cool. So,
what you just said is like, sorry, but what you just said is like even more bamboozling for the Pacers because like Tyrese Haliburton doesn't put the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
And he's still leading his team to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Like, he's averaging 25 or less.
Yeah.
And he's still bringing his team to the conference finals. Like, then they're dominating. It's crazy. Anyway,
yeah,
we're talking about the Warriors right now.
Yeah, and the thing you said about Jimmy Butler, I also said that. He disappointed me. And the whole thing in this entire series, all you had to do was hold the line. You don't have to go out there and score 45 points and go win a game. But hold the line. Be aggressive. Try to win one game. All you got to do is scrounge out one game for Curry to be back in that game 6. And they couldn't do it. And Jimmy
it's not just on Butler, though.
No, I agree. But Jimmy was not aggressive. I mean, this is what I had. So, in this series, he shot less than Draymond, Pods, and Buddy. Total shots taken. Each one of those guys was better than him. There is no way in hell that you should be shooting less shots than Buddy Hield.
Draymond Green, no, I think Draymond Green is even
or
crazier.
Pods. Either one. It doesn't matter. Like, it baffles me that Jimmy was not more aggressive. He was making the right pass on plays.
But the players you're passing to suck.
Exactly. Like, I would rather you take a contested floater or a contested jump shot mid-range instead of letting Quentin Post hit a 3. Honestly, like, I'm just being honest. I love Quentin Post. I think it was a really, really good ad. But, like, Jimmy Butler, you were the best guy on the Warriors team. You had to hold the line, and you couldn't do it. And that's not just on him. It's on the entirety of the team, but you had to be more aggressive, and he couldn't.
Yeah, Pods was not himself. Buddy Hield was actually played really good basketball.
He did.
Which is crazy. But
and I love Buddy Hield.
He's been great, yeah.
He didn't take more shots than Jimmy Butler.
Buddy Hield was an amazing ad for them.
Yeah. I remember I said that.
Yeah, you did.
You remember what I said about it?
You said he was Klay Thompson number 2. I said, yeah, and I agree with you, but you still lost that bet.
Yeah,
anyway, and they get added Jimmy Butler, you still lost that bet. Anyway, whatever. Thunder 3, Nuggets 3. This is just what I have. I don't have anything for either team specifically like I'd have in the rest of them. I just have 3 things that are just so the series as a whole. Because I couldn't think of anything to say about the Nuggets or the Thunder, really, single-handedly. But I would say this has been a really, really well-played series. Both teams have played really good basketball. The Thunder have maybe been a little less than themselves, but the Nuggets have played really well. The Thunder have played good enough to be in the series.
What a bunch of 24-years should actually look like. That's what they look like.
But but no one really cares about their youth anymore because it's their second time around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's been a lot of close games. It's been a great series in general. And it's really tough to pick against either team. Like, at this point, it's just the OKC depth. The depth that they have is elite versus Nikola Jokic. And if Jamal Murray can show up, if Aaron Gordon can play, if MPJ can show up, they will win. But if they don't, then it's just Jokic needs to drop 50 or else they lose, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then OKC, they're just going to be consistent. We know what they're going to do. Shea's going to give you 25 or more. I mean, J-Dub's going to give you something. Chet's going to give you something. Caruso's going to give you defense. Like, Hardenstein's going to give you rebounds and something.
They have everything.
They have everything. They have it in place. It's just going to be kind of like how do the Nuggets play? We know what the Thunder are going to do. Will the Nuggets supporting cast show up in Game 7? Or if they do, they win. If they don't, they lose.
Yeah, I'm just kind of saying things I think going into this Game 7 on Sunday or tomorrow. That's tomorrow, dang. Like what I think these teams have to do. And I think for the OKC Thunder, it is take Jokic out of the game entirely. Whether that is going at him literally every single time you're on offense to try to get him in foul trouble, do it. Whether it's Jamal Murray giving you 55, but Jokic has 10, but you lose, honestly, I'd be fine
Live with that.
Like, if Jamal Murray gives you 55, that's on you.
Put Caruso,
Jokic honestly, beat you.
Put Alex Caruso, glue him to Jamal Murray, and put everyone else on Jokic, and make MPJ beat you, and make Aaron Gordon beat you if he's playing. Because they really haven't shown you can. And I mean, I think they've done a pretty good job of that this series.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't really take Jokic out of the game like that.
Yeah,
Because
it's
Jokic
hard.
will make the passes, but yeah, it'll be a really interesting game. I might watch it.
Yeah, and this game 7, in my opinion, is going to be inexperience versus experience. This is the Nuggets.
They're
7.
not inexperienced. Oh, yeah,
They're
in game 7.
Yeah, I'm saying game 7.
Yeah.
So, like, in a game 7, in a closeout game, the Nuggets have played 7 game 7s
With the core.
this core,
Yeah.
which is incredible. OKC hasn't been the one with this core yet. So, like, that's going to be the problem, right? Like, do the nerves get them? They're going to be at home. It's going to be bumping in there. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. They're all going to be in the shirts. It'll be cool. But I think adding the experience and adding the best player on the world on your team, I'm taking the Nuggets in game 7.
I'm not making a pick. I'm
I'm
not
going to
going
make my pick. I'm going Nuggets.
I can't make a pick. I have no idea.
It'll be a fun game.
But what I do know is that these are the two best teams in the Western Conference. Whoever wins this game,
Wow, okay.
whoever wins this game is going to the NBA Finals.
Okay.
I think, obviously, I'm not going to count out the Timberwolves. I just said that. But I think whoever wins this game should make the NBA Finals. I think these are the two best teams.
Yeah.
Who else? Who was above the Nuggets? The Rockets, obviously not, and Lakers, obviously not. Right? The Nuggets are there with Jokic and the experience, and the Thunder are the best team in the NBA right now. It's whoever wins this game, which I have no idea who, is going to make the NBA Finals and has a really, really good shot to win it all.
Okay. All right. I like the pick. It'll be a fun game 7. Best 2 words in sports, and then we'll get the first round of the conference final.
Second
Or the
best.
first. Sorry, the first
Second
game.
best. Bryce Harper's the first.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
Obviously, you've never heard of the words. I was trying to think of like a.
Jaren Duran.
No, hold on. You've obviously never heard the words.
This is tough to watch, guys.
Hold on. Yusuf Nurkic.
No, you just said that. Is he even on your team anymore?
No, he's in the Hornets.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Dude, I hate that guy, bro.
Okay, anyway,
Bro, he gave me like nightmares.
rough way to end, but it's
Bro,
okay.
shoot like 2 for 16.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with something with the MLB. We've been struggling with MLB ideas recently, so
Yeah, you got any
Help us
ideas?
out.
Leave them in the comments.
help us out. See you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.